Hello, 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 beloveds. Woo. We are live. We are live here on Transmission Thursdays. Welcome, everyone. Who? Yes, we are here for Transmission Thursdays, our weekly transmission. I'm really excited about today's transmission. I am excited and a little worried because I've been having a lot of network issues. So I'm really praying that this will work, right? So yes, please ask the gods of technology to stay with us, right? But yes, say hello, you know the drill. Say hello, let me know that you are here. And I am now just gonna share into the Facebook group. Okay, let's do that. The tribe of warriors. Yes, okay. So hashtag warriors of light, hashtag genetic path cutter, and hashtag replay. If you're watching this as the replay, I'm just gonna share now to the community. Okay. Cool. Okay, so we are live. Hello, hello, Sabongile. Hello, hello, Sandria. Salandria, yes. And Danny, thank you, beloveds, for watching today. Who is excited? I have really an exciting announcement today, as I promised everyone. And yeah, we're gonna talk about, I think, a topic that everyone really loves today. And this is the topic of ancestral healing, ancestral miasma healing. I call it that. But really, today's theme is really about the ancestors and why you have to be on this journey of ancestors. Ooh. One moment. I will be back. Okay, I am back. Just needed to switch on the light. It was a little dark. Okay, Tokozani, Bana Babadimo, Makosi, Dumelang, Ashe. Welcome, 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 Sovereign Warriors. Okay, so let's start with announcements first before we jump in. And today we're going to have an activation, a little of an activation like last week, which I think you will enjoy. But first, let's start with announcements. So the first thing I want to share is that Warriors of Light is still open. Why am I saying Warriors of Light? Warrior Mystery School. Warrior Mystery School is still open for enrollment. We still have like a whole month. So for you to enroll, for you to begin your journey of healing, in-depth healing, your soul healing, your ancestral healing, your cosmic healing. It's truly like the most profound healing that I have curated, and it's done in this beautiful pace with other warriors who are going to be journeying with you in this school that I have. This is the third time I'm running it. So really welcome and invite you to go check out the Warrior Mystery School page to read more about it, to check out all the modules that we're going to cover. As you know, I've been talking about this, and I will keep talking about this mystery school. So we're sharing this opportunity so that you can take it, as I will be running this once every year, because I want to really go deep. Especially this group, this third group is going to experience, I don't know, like quite profound teachings, as I've really evolved since I started the school. So if you really want to work with me, this is an entry-level container. It's really affordable. It's really paced in a way program that I'm going to be running, and I actually want to show it to you, beloved. So one moment. It just came to my mind that I can just actually share, and we can check it out together, this free masterclass series. And so if you joined us last time, you will absolutely enjoy this. So let's check out this free masterclass series that I am doing in May. So we are going to be doing a 3-day masterclass series. This is similar to the Cosmic Alchemy Masterclass series, and it's going to be run the same way. We're going to be here on Zoom together as a community, and we're going to go in depth into the ancestral path. I work with a lot of people who are genetic path cutters, what I call genetic path cutters. And genetic path cutters in Southern Africa, we call them, Banaba Bading, Wana Bading. So people who have this calling to the ancestors, who have an interest in ancestry, shamanism, the oracle path, this container, this free masterclass series is the best series to come and know more about the ancestral path, right? So I'm going to be sharing what, obviously not everything, but it's an introductory series into what the ancestors are and what an ancestral path is, and why you are called, if you feel called by the ancestors. Who are these ancestors? And we're going to go deep into that. It's an expansion of the cosmic alchemy, because it's very grounded in your lived experience. So this is a very earthy experience. So this is the landing page that we're looking at right now. And in the landing page, you can see here that there are 3 things we're going to be exploring. That 3 things we're going to be exploring in this free masterclass series, the ancestral path. So the first thing is we're going to talk about the ancestral calling. What is the ancestral calling? Why will ancestors call you? Why you? There's a lot of people who feel called to the ancestors, but there's a lot of fear and a lot of distortions and misunderstandings about the ancestral calling. So I'm going to be offering my own gnosis, my own knowledge, and my own experience as someone who went through who is in the ancestral path. I had an ancestral calling. I've had an ancestral calling since I was born, which is pretty much how it goes for people who do have this ancestral calling. So we're going to go deep into really understanding the ancestral calling. I know I've spoken a lot about ancestors, so obviously I'm going to bring in a different perspective. What I'm interested in is to speak about this in an organic way, in ways that are aligned with truth, with liberation, with the organic ascension timeline. And that is very much aligned with the highest timeline, which is really the timeline of God, the timeline of the Holy Spirit, right? So we are going to be doing that on day 1, May 4th, which is like a Tuesday. So we're going to do it the same way as we did last time. And then on the second day, we're going to go into, so this is the ancestral calling. Yes, so we're going to look also into the different helping spirits, ancestral helping spirits that you will encounter in your calling and how to navigate that, of course. And obviously, every day we're going to have an ancestral journey for you to expand your understanding of your personal calling, to understand also who are these beings, who are these energies, frequencies that are calling you, right? So that's the first day. And on the second day, we are going to do ancestral magic, right? I love ancestral magic. This one is about helping you awaken to the ancestral magic that is already within you, that you are carrying, that you may have known you're carrying. The magic that is also in the land in which you are living, of course, also the land in which you originate from. So this is a story of origins, the origins of ancestral magic in obviously a historical way. You all know how I like the history as well as the metaphysics part of it. So I'm going to be dropping that in, like a little bit of what truly is ancestral magic and the genesis of that, as well as the organic ways of working with ancestral magic and the inorganic ways of working with ancestral magic. When we are on this path, most people are not aware of, especially the inorganic ways that you could utilize the ancestral magic, and this is how we can get ourselves in trouble. So I'm going to be really helping you understand this so that you are in the path you truly want to be in, because you have understanding and you are activating that which is in alignment with your heritage, with also your values, whatever it is that you value, which I want to believe it's truth, is liberation, is justice, is sovereignty, and so on, all the things I'm always speaking about, right? So how do we do this path without falling into the inorganic matrix? Because there is a matrix, there is a path that is within the ancestral path that is not for the soul, for your healing, for your ancestral elevation, that is not really for ancestral reparation. And so we're going to be going deep into that, how to work with ancestral magic in ways that will help you truly do what you desire, which is to heal, which is to repair, which is to elevate your people. We need to elevate our people, right? So, and how to do this without losing yourself. Like, we can get lost in both traditions and cultures and rituals, even if they're not in alignment with our core truth. So how to align to that, especially because in the ancestral path, you're going to have to work with teachers, what we call gobelas, how to ensure that you still respect your own personal sovereign values and you don't lose them. And a lot of people I know, when it comes to ancestors, we perceive ancestors as superior to us. So we don't even really feel like we're meant to question anything in the ancestral path. And y'all know I'm all about, yeah, but we need to question. We can't be doing things without knowing what they are. So all the questions that you have about ancestral magic are going to be answered on this day. Yes. Let me know how you are feeling about all of this. Okay. How excited are you? What kind of questions are you already thinking of? Let me know. Okay. Hello, Koketso. Hello, Latasha. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And then the last day, we are going to do ancestral logos, how to embody the ancestral logos. You see, everything in the world is actually created from what we call the logos. The logos could also be thought of as the laws, right? But also blueprints and codes and templates, right? So everything in the world is created from that, and even things that we call, you know, culture, we call races, we call nations. We work with our own logos, and of course there are universal logos, but then there are logos that apply to your ancestors, right? So how do we embody our own personal ancestral logos, as well as also really obviously align with the divine logos that God has set for us, right? And so we're also going to look at the logos are also keys, the keys in which we are meant to work with the ancestral realm as the living generation. I call us, we are the living generations, right? So these logos include things like the shadows, the blueprints, templates of shadows that we are healing, that you as a genetic path cutter, you are here to heal for the bloodline. So looking into those shadows, the shadows of humanity, the shadows of your bloodline, looking into the gifts of your bloodline or your ancestral line, as well as the cities of your ancestors, because essentially this path of the ancestral path is the path of truly these shadows, gifts, and cities that why do I call him Richard Root? Is that his name? Who's the founder of the Jinkies? Give me a minute. I feel like I forgot. So yes, it is Richard Root. Okay, so Richard Root mapped up what he calls the gene keys, and it's really essentially that our genes, our DNA, has 64 keys, and these 64 keys are essentially the keys of our experiences as the human race. And essentially that all of us, we are working through these keys. So in every key is holding a shadow, a gift, and a city being the transcended part of that key. So an example would be, I read the gene keys all the time, y'all. An example will be, I'm gonna look through my own chart, right? This morning I was reading this key, where there is the shadow of intolerance. When you struggle with tolerating other people's belief systems, other people's way of life, that will be a shadow. And that shadow, if you do struggle with that, with this intolerance, it is actually because underneath that shadow, if you were to heal it, you're going to uncover the gift of understanding. And understanding, not understanding that comes from the mind, but understanding that comes from the divine intelligence, and realization and revelation that everything is interconnected. And so you cannot not tolerate how other people express themselves, that there is an entire mysterious, miraculous design that was designed by the pure source creator, that you cannot literally decide that this part is wrong and this part is not. And understanding comes also from just the realization that we can never ever truly know, because everything that we think we know, there is literally another side to it that someone on the other side doesn't experience, doesn't see. So it's only truth to you, right? So when you reach understanding, when you activate that gift of understanding, you will activate the highest level of understanding. When you move beyond understanding, you arrive to forgiveness, the city of forgiveness. So this is what I was reading this morning. This is my gene key. It's actually what I'm working with in this lifetime. One of the gene keys. So forgiveness, I realized that the ancestral path is the path of forgiveness. When we arrive to the city of forgiveness, it is now where you have transcended understanding to realizing that if all is interconnected, if there is some mysterious design to every single thing in the world, including everything we call inorganic and organic, then we can forgive all the pain that we have went through. Not that we are condoning it, but we forgive it because we have arrived to the understanding that everything has a purpose. And even if we may never get the purpose while we're here, we surrender to how that experience, that pain, has become part of our story, has created the people we are today, which is, we are truly miraculous people because of the pains that we've went through, the traumas that we have went through. So when you arrive to forgiveness, it's not a forgiveness of the mind where you force yourself to forgive. It comes through understanding, and then one day you have forgiven, right? Which is what I do in my work. It has taken me a long time to realize that I am for me, repairing what has happened to our ancestors, what is happening to us as the living generation, is forgiveness that is, especially for us Black people, forgiveness of all that has happened, because in that is how we truly become free. So we're gonna look at these logos. There are 64 logos. I'm gonna be using Richard Wood's system, and it's gonna be so much fun. And it's about, how do you embody the cities? How do you activate your gift? Most of the time is to heal the shadows, and understanding these ancestral logos, because these ancestral logos are really about the human experience, and right now the golden experience, this great awakening that we are in, right? So that is the masterclass that we're doing in May 4 to May 6. So you can register, to get the Zoom link. So it's going to be happening at 6 p.m. Central African time, not 5 p.m. as we are doing right now, but 6 p.m. And it's, the same vibe as last time. I'm just gonna curate it in the same way that we did. There will be a daily journey, expansion, conversation, Q&As, all the things. Yes. So let me know. Yes, Beth, come and join. So you can register in the link in my website. I will also share here, but you can go to my website. Under programs, there will be the Ancestral Path, the free masterclass series, right? So we have only 100 spaces for Zoom. So I highly advise that you do register before Yeah, as soon as possible, not before, as soon as possible. Yes. Right. Yes. Okay, so we will understand more deeply about the ancestral path and what we are healing, and why the ancestral path is the next level of your journey as someone who is on a personal development journey, as someone who is wanting to heal that inner child, someone who wants to have this inner peace, these high level CDs, you know, someone who wants to arrive to that forgiveness, to arrive to you know, unconditional love, inner peace, all of these CDs. We're going to talk a little bit about these CDs in the ancestral path. So yes, come and join. Okay, yes. Okay, so that's it with the announcements. Let's jump in a little bit to what today we're talking about. It's actually the same thing. It's ancestral miasma healing, right? I've spoken, I think, a lot about miasma, but my students in the mystery school, they can tell you how this module was the most expansive module of the entire school, because it was so deep that we had to separate it into 3 parts every week. But yes, so we're gonna do a journey right now, because I realize I can't actually explain it. So let's use the spirit to understand ancestral miasma. Okay, so let's get comfortable wherever we are. We're gonna have like a 10 minutes journey. So take a deep breath wherever you are. You know, sitting down comfortably. And releasing energy as loud as you can. Allowing your hands to open up. Closing your eyes. And coming to your heart center. And as you do come to the heart center, allowing the heart to awaken, to wake up, as you receive a divine dispensation of the Holy Spirit from the Holy Mother, Holy Father, Ark, God frequencies. This energy that is sitting in your heart just begins to open, and you may activate this, help yourself to activate by imagining a sapphire blue light, which is the color for the Holy Spirit. And the sapphire blue light that is like sparkling, like a sapphire blue waters, really beginning to move everywhere, activating your blood, your cells, your DNA, your bones. And using your mind, beginning to see this water just flooding every part of your body, awakening you. And we're gonna do this a little different. Instead of connecting with the energy of the ancestral helping spirit, I want you to become aware of your silence, the stillness within you. And I want you to become aware of that divine intelligence that is you. And it will feel as if you are here and yet you are floating at the same time. Although I do invite you to stay in your body. But I want you to become the silent witness of yourself. And your divinity. And I want you to think now about your mother. And I want you to think of her from the highest level of yourself as a soul. And I want you to look at her as if you are the ancestor. You are now in the heavenly realms and you are observing the journey, the experience of the soul that is called your mother. I want you to look at her joys, the things that make her happy, and her pains. And allow yourself to move through all of that, all of her joys that come to your mind as you remember her when you were, and as you are her child. And I want you now to move to your father, the soul that you call or called your father, and to the level in which you are able to connect and remember the joys of your father and the pains of your father. I want you to connect to the parts of your body that are open, activated, contracted right now when you think about your mother and your father. And I want you to observe the body where tension may be coming whenever you look at the joy, whenever you look particularly at the pain of your mother and the pain of your father. And you're looking with understanding. You're going to move to understanding. And we're going to stretch, expand a little bit. Stay with me. You are strong. I want you to begin to think about your mother's bloodline, starting with her siblings. And just also look at the joys of your uncles, your aunts, in your mother's bloodline. And you're going to keep expanding, looking at the cousins, expanding to look at your grandmother, your grandfather from your mother's side, and just the entire family system. And you're going to look at the joys of that bloodline. You're looking as if you are not with them. You are observing from outside. What is the joy of this family, your mother's family? And what is the pain of your mother's family? And keep breathing, keep feeling where the pain is, and breathe wherever you begin to feel tension in the body. You're doing great, warrior. Look at all the men in your mother's bloodline. Do you see any patterns in terms of their joys, in terms of their pains? And keep breathing. You're doing great. And look at the cousins, those who are the children who are particularly your age mates, of their uncles and the aunts as well. Look at their joys and their pains in your mother's bloodline. Looking at the man right now, the masculine of your mother's bloodline. And keep feeling where the body is active. Just note for yourself. And keep breathing. Okay, you're doing great. We're going to move to the feminine, the women in your mother's bloodline. Look at their joys, look at their pains. Good, you're doing great. Good. Okay, good. We're going to move now. For those who do have a relationship with the father's bloodline, I want you to look at your father's bloodline. Look at the joys and the pains of the uncles, the aunts, the grandfathers, and the grandmothers. Look at the cousins as well. Good. Let's focus on the masculine of your father's bloodline. Their joys, their pains. Good. Let's move to the feminine, the women in your father's bloodline. The aunts, the cousins, your grandmothers. Good, good. Good. And observing the body and where tension. And I want you now to pull back, come back to yourself. And just this moment, look in the ways in which your joys mirror your bloodlines, your mother's bloodlines, your father's bloodlines, and your pains mirror your mother's bloodlines, joy and pains, as well as your father's bloodline. Good, good. You're doing great. Okay. And I want you to come back now, and we're going to go a little up beyond ourself to our highest self. And we're going to imagine if we have lived and we have left our family, our mother's bloodlines and our father's bloodlines, and we are on the heavenly realms, what will you pray about for your mother's people and your father's people? when you're on this other side, what would you want to move, shift, transmute, repair for your mother, for your father, for the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, the grandmothers, and the grandfathers? What would you ask God when you're on the other side that God help your people with? And I want you to actually say that out loud to yourself, imagining that you are the ancestor, you are the emissary, you are the one who is representing your people on the other side. So tell God what you pray for, what you need God to help your people with. What would you ask God help the men with, the masculine with? What would you ask God to help the feminine, the women with? Oh, good. Keep asking God. And as you're doing that, I'm going to ask God for all of us who are here, who are doing this. I'm going to ask Holy Mother, Holy Father God, Christos Sophia, Christed guardians, benevolent, luminous, ancestral helping spirits who are in devotion, who are in service to the law of Ubuntu. We ask for your divine dispensation of the Holy Spirit, of Christ energy. We ask for this Christ energy to come into our bodies, to clear and repair our nervous systems, to repair our blood, our DNA, where we are holding the pains of our people. And I want you to begin to open yourself up to this golden light that is going to come through from the heavenly realms. And this is Christ energy. And this golden light, you're going to begin to send it to every part of you that was contracting, that was in pain, every time you thought about your family. As this golden light is clearing this pain, transmuting it in the level in which it is ready to be transmuted today. And all the parts that are holding the pain frequency are going to be sent out from your field into a vortex that you can create in your room, at the corner of the room. That's where you are sending that pain. And it's going to move from your body to that corner. And this is where all shadowy elements, all pain bodies are going to go. We ask shadowy elements to go to the vortex that we are creating as we clear this out with golden light, with Christ-led energy. We thank you, beloved God, for the support, for this healing. We thank you, Ancestral Helping Spirits, for helping us remember what you see in our behalf, what you are waiting for every single one of us to awaken to, so we may heal, so this pain may stop and end with us, so that the next generation, when we are the ancestors, we will not be helping them with this exact things we are seeing in our bloodline. And so we're going to allow the Christed energy to just clear, and I'm just going to facilitate this right now with a clearing frequency. Okay. And allow yourself to let go. Release that pain for your people, for they are in your blood. And as you heal, you are healing the collective. We thank all shadowy elements for respecting our consent, our sovereignty, as we align to the highest timeline for our bloodline, as we ask for the activation, awakening of self-regeneration, of bioregenesis within our field, as supported by Christ energy, as supported by the Holy Trinity, as supported by Holy Mother, Holy Father Ark, as supported by our ancestral luminous helping spirit. We thank you, beloved ones, for this healing, and we ask for the continuation of this healing in the next 24 hours as we keep healing, cleansing out, purging out this miasma. And we would like to seal our light bodies. We would like to seal the timelines. There's witness with the seal of God, the seal of Christos, and the seal of Sophia. As we are washed one last time by this Christ energy, and I want you to see yourself as if you're being washed with this water that is golden, filled with golden light. And as that's happening, you begin to see yourself sparkling more and more with this blue light, sapphire light, as you're imbued and you let go, release all that pain one last time. Take a deep breath and let go. Good, good. And we seal this with love, and we thank God for this healing. Thank God, our support team, for this healing. Thank God for our souls for leading us to this moment. Thank God. And so it is. Ashe. Yeah. Whew. Coming back now. Ooh, that was a hectic one. That was heavy. How are you, warriors? How was your healing? Quick healing. Let me know. Whew, that was emotional. That was very emotional. I've never done it this way, but the ancestors asked me to do it this way today. And I think it was quite interesting to see it when you are outside, you know, when you're kind of like stepping away. Yeah, it was deep. Yeah, Shanisa. It was so deep. I was not expecting that. I was just crying the whole time. Let me know if you're feeling called. What kind of joys did you see about your bloodlines? What kind of pains did you see repeating across the uncles, the aunts, the women, the men, the grandmothers, the grandfathers? If you are not feeling called, you can just also go journal about it later after this, because one of the things that I've been getting from my warriors is how whenever we think about ancestral healing or African spirituality, sometimes we think of it like in this very like mystical way that we don't realize how real it is. And so today, instead of teaching what miasma is, I wanted you to see it for yourself and how simple it is to see ancestral pain, ancestral traumas, and how alive they are in you, in your mother, in your father, in your bloodline, in your people. And how sometimes when we speak of ancestors, we often think of like these ancient beings, and they are that. But when we speak of ancestral healing, we're talking about something very real that has to do with you being called to come and heal these patterns, these joys, and well, not heal the joys, activate and expand the joys, bring more of the joys, and heal the pains that are in your family right now, you know. So for me, one of the things I was seeing, I've done this so many times, but each time there's so many layers. But I just saw how, for example, the masculine in my family, they really struggle with stepping into their purpose, using their gifts, actually stepping into their provision skills they were meant to provide to create wealth for themselves. And this, I realized my uncles and cousins are really struggling with this. You know, it's a pattern that I saw, and the women are really struggling with, you know, their relationships with the masculine. It was interesting to see how the men are married and the women are not married in my bloodlines. So love is an issue with the women, and the womb also, like the manifestation of that sadness and that loneliness is manifesting with womb issues. Right. And that is what we mean by miasma. There is obviously deeper understanding of it and how it works in terms of like spiritually and how we heal it, which is something we're going to cover in the Ancestral Path Masterclass series, but something I literally do the entire time in the Warrior Ministry School. In fact, all my work is grounded on this, on helping us heal these pains, bring in joy, bring in the cities, bring in these like the frequencies of purpose, of wisdom, of abundance, of provision, of healing, of union into our bloodline, particularly as Black people. And there is levels in which most of the time we want to go to like the history, and I love history. I do, but the most profound work you can do is this one that we were just doing with this activation, healing the things that are present today in your life, not as a, you know, like a theory, but really coming to just the very painful realization that we are in pain and we're not thriving in our families. Our people are not thriving. And we are truly one. This is why even when you were observing the pains of your people, you felt the pain in the body. Let me know, where did you feel the pain in the bodies? Did you feel that energy held in your physical body? Because I felt it. My back was in tension, my womb was in tension whenever I would witness the women, right? So this is ancestral miasma healing is a real thing. It's a real process. It is a very authentic and courageous thing you would have to do to say, actually, yeah, this is how we are suffering, and this is what needs to move. And this is beyond just doing the rituals of connecting with your ancestors, just putting on the candles, just doing patha process in the morning, connecting with them. It has to be more than that. There is deeper healing that needs to happen, right? Yes. Yes. Yep. And that is a reflection of how the body is carrying miasma. It's like your DNA could literally activate that pain, like in the chest and the pelvic, in the entire physical body, right? This is why when we do healing, it has to be holistic. It has to include the body, it has to include the mind, it has to include the emotions, and it has to include the spiritual. And today, this experience allowed us to tap into those bodies. You were physically feeling the pain. You were also seeing this in your mind, that pain, thinking about them, and you could see, and you could bring the images of the different people, the aunts and the uncles and so on. That's the mind. That means the mind is carrying that. And you could feel the emotions, right? What were the emotions that came up for you, that are alive within you? And imagine we're just only doing about our people. We're not even going deep into ourselves. We're looking at our family. And the spiritual part of it is when you realize, and this is so important for everyone, especially those who are genetic path cutters, that healing happens in the spirit. And that means we can't just use the mind. The mind cannot heal this because these pains are beyond the mind. They are held in the spirit. And so transmutation has to happen at a spiritual level. This is why we will have to work with the spiritual technologies. And our ancestors are part of those technologies. Ancestral magic is part of that technology, right? But also the Holy Spirit is part of that technology, and so on. And we need to open and expand ourselves to these technologies and surrender. Like in the healing, there's a lot of surrender, a lot of working with organic ways of healing that are not here. The reason why I say not here is because the mind, most of our mind is inorganic. It's filled up with so much of the distortions we learned in our education systems and all these other systems, right? So this is why healing has to go beyond just the affirmation, just the rituals, the patha, and the prayers as well. Prayer is part of a spiritual technology, but we do need to, it's one of the most powerful spiritual technologies, yes, but it needs to be very direct and very specific. We're not just praying just like simply like this. We need to get to a point of feeling, connecting, and then knowing what we're praying for, working with these technologies, awakening these technologies within yourself. Because if you are here listening to me, you are a genetic path cutter. So that means you have the codes that are here to heal what you just witnessed, right? You have them. They need to be awakened though, right? So, so let's go ponder a little bit more about this, and let's begin to move into this deeper understanding that truly the highest level of healing that can happen has to come from pure source realms, from the heavenly realms, all the way to the God forces. And for many people, I know there's this idea that when you speak of ancestors, there's some kind of disconnection with God, that they don't coexist. They cannot not be together. We can speak of ancestors without speaking about God, which is why a huge part of the mystery school is about literally returning you to God, the true living God, the Holy Mother, the Holy Father God, which is about us having to deprogram ourselves from our religious wounds so that we can begin to connect with the true living codes, living light codes that are the ones that will heal us. Right? So the mystery school is that journey, that is the journey of your soul, the journey of the ancestry, and the journey of God, which is essentially what we all are. We can never separate in the other from the two. You can speak about your human experience without talking about your ancestors. You can speak about your soul without talking about your ancestors. You cannot speak about your soul without talking about God. You cannot speak about your ancestors without talking about God. All of it is interconnected, and we need to come to that understanding, because it's through understanding, as we are speaking, that we can arrive to forgiveness. And once we forgive, this is where miracles happen. The realm of miracles is at the forgiveness point. It's at that city where now, when we have forgiven whoever we need to forgive, that pain is elevated, and God begins to do miracles in your womb, miracles in your life, in your relationships. Suddenly the women are starting to get married. That is the miraculous, right? That is what we're here to do. This is what we're here to do in this life, right? So I hope this was helpful. Let me know what is your take out. What you're taking with you. Go journal. I know how deep this was. I was not even expecting it to be this deep, that I don't even have anything else to say. So I hope you got the ancestral miasma. For those who are joining us now, I'm gonna end this, and I highly advise that you restart this. We did a very profound activation that you need to go through to get ancestral miasma and also receive the healing. Okay, so that's it, beloved. I will see you next week. Remember to go register for the Ancestral Path free masterclass series. We have 100 spaces available. So go fill up, go put your details in there so that you get all the details, the Zoom link so that you can join. It's happening May 4 until May 6, 6 p.m. for those 3 days. And also go read on Warrior Mystery School if you're a genetic path cutter and you're ready to go into this ancestral miasma healing, to understand and connect more deeply with the ancestors and work with them in an organic way, aligned to the Holy Trinity. Then read that landing page. I wrote all the things, but of course there's still even more that I can never really put on paper that you will experience. And yes, put your details. I have started doing discovery sessions so that we can speak 30 minutes of learning a little bit more about the mystery school and how it will work, and any concerns that you have. So we have this 1 month for me to do that. So fill up as soon as you can if you're interested, if it's a yes for you. And then let's have a conversation one-on-one, and see if this is the right program for you, the right path for you right now. Yes. Okay. Bye, beloved. Yay.